blokes do you think would be right to play on Monday?
I think we've probably got maybe 7 or 8 that will be unavailable. But yeah, we've got a pretty fit squad. So out of those, there's probably a handful of first-year players with loads and everything. But we're pretty healthy for where we are at this point in time. So it's probably a credit to our conditioning staff and probably just the players in general for what they've done over their off-season and Christmas break to put themselves in a position to attack the opening round in 3 weeks' time.
Who are probably some of the main players, senior players that might be available?
I think the main ones would be Cam Guthrie, Shawnee Manor, Toby Conway. I think they're the ones that would probably be pressing for selection that are just not quite there at the moment, but hopefully not too far away.
So, any doubt about them for round zero?
I think the longer they stay out of sort of full sessions, I think it's unreasonable to ask them to get up and play that intensity of round zero. So, yeah, we probably... I think in the next week will tell us a bit more about those 3, but yeah, we'll see how it goes.
How's Toby Conway going? He hasn't trained a lot this preseason, obviously battling that back injury. I mean, obviously you work pretty closely with him. How is he going both mentally and also with his injury stuff? Yeah,
it's obviously a challenge for Tobes. He hasn't had a great run at it. Off-season surgery on his foot and then just had a disc issue. I think it was, in bed sort of coughing, so something pretty innocuous that obviously happened. So we just have to take our time with Toby. He's a very valuable commodity for us, so we'll just make sure he's right, and obviously not just the back but the whole body. We reload him pretty in a manner that I think looks after Toby long term.
So being a ruck yourself during your playing days, how excited are you about him as a player, long-standing the injury setbacks that he's had? Yeah,
I think it was really exciting to see what Toby did last year for us, and I think once he gets a good run at it, I think he can play a lot of footy for this footy club and at a high level, so it's exciting for us in the future.
Hey, Stephen, there's real flexibility with what you can do on Monday, but how many players do you intend to roll through? Yeah, that's a great question. We initially thought it was going to be a 5 or 6 quarter game or turn game, and now I think it's back to 4. So we'd love to give everyone an opportunity, but we have to make sure we get our preparation right for that game against Brisbane. So we'll probably sit down today after training and work out who plays 3 quarters or a full game, and how many we expose. We'll sort of, I guess, have a couple strip ready to go, but we'd love to replicate rotations as in a proper game. Watching match sim, some hot footage yet, a bit of Edwards, a bit of McCurry, a bit of Stanley in the ruck. Is that what your hopes are on Monday?
Yeah, a little bit, and a little bit of blitz as well, I think, at times. So we've got options there. We'd Scotty's like having as much flexibility in the team as we can, and we feel like we've got enough players to be able to do that. So yeah, I think Mitch Edwards is one that's jumped up a little bit. He's had a great pre-season showing signs, but again, hasn't played a lot of football yet. So we want to make sure his growth and development is probably a priority over a short-term hit of just playing. So we'll make sure we sit down and work out what that right balance is with him and for all our rucks. Baz has been going well. So, I mean, we've probably had to hold Baz back a bit. But, I mean, he's come in, high intensity, done a lot. He's probably been unrestricted since Christmas. So he's been finding a lot of the footy and just getting his head around playing different roles for us in a different system, but he's going to be great for us for what he can do for us as a club.
Any closer to settling on his exact role?
Oh, look, I think Bailey's someone who's unique where he can play inside and outside. So for us, I think we'll just tap into that. I think you'll see him play inside, bit of wing, bit of forward, try and just spin the numbers through the middle of the ground a little bit, but certainly he'll be helping us transition the footy up and down the ground.
Still on Cairns, you had a sort of injury timeline for him. Obviously, it was pretty uncertain last year. Is it similar again?
Yeah, I think he's just had a bit of Achilles soreness. It's just been popping up every now and then when his loads increase. So I think the next week we'll sort of determine where he's at and how far that'll be. So until that, I sort of can't really comment.
Just one player I didn't catch in the match, Stephen, was Jack Martin. He did not participate in this next update.
Yeah, he played a half in our Monday match sim, so that was great. We've probably been putting a more focus on strength and rebuilding Jack's body a little bit to withstand the rigours of what the season is ahead of for him. So he's one that will be touch and go for around 0 availability, but he's trained a lot for us already this pre-season. We've been really excited by what he's been able to produce for us. So our priority is to have Jack there available for the next couple of years, not just for one game or 1 month of football.
Put a line for him.
I wouldn't put a line for him yet because I know he'll be putting his hand up. Again, if it was going to be a 6 quarter game, we would have seen Jack play at least 2 or 3 of those quarters, but he might be one where we've got to work out is he a realistic option for opening round, or do we just make sure we do the right thing by him? So we'll sort of have a discussion about that later today.
Holmes is the full-time mid during that final series and really started in those two finals. Are you expecting that to continue in 2025 as well?
Yeah, I'd like so. I think so. I mean, him with Tommy Stewart as well, sort of going inside and then back. I think what Max gives us is, I mean, he's a key part of our team and what we're trying to do. So if we need a spike anywhere in the ground, I think that's another option, pretty similar to Bailey Smith. We'll try and put him there. He's very explosive. So I think Max was great around the footy, but he was also pretty dominant at half back as well for us. So I think you'll see Max play a couple of different roles for us, and he's excited by that.
It's obviously a pretty emotional week this week. Funeral of Troy Selwood tomorrow. How's that affected the team? Has it?
Oh, look, I think it's probably affected different people in different ways. There's probably a few of the boys would have played football with Troy. Obviously, everyone played with Joel. A prominent football family within this football club. So, it affects everyone. And obviously, Troy worked here with the staff as well. So it's going to affect different people in different ways. And but then again, there's some new players that they just come in and haven't had that relationship with Troy at all. So the club's handled it really well. Obviously, the funeral will be here tomorrow. But I mean, our support goes to the Selwood family, but more importantly, our people here as well, to make sure that they're okay. And also on that, I think just the industry as a whole, with Dale Tapping as well passing, that hit home for me and all the coaches that have crossed paths with Taps over the time. He's a great man and a great football person, so he'll be missed as well.
On a personal note, Stephen, you went deep in the West Coast job last year. Is that fire still burning that you want to be an AFL head coach permanently one day?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly want to keep just trying to be a great leader in the industry, whether that's coaching or just being an assistant coach. So it's still something that's inside of me that wants to explore. That sort of snuck up pretty quickly. I mean, you take a phone call and next thing you know, you're flying over to Perth to be in an interview process. So I learned a lot out of that. It was the first time I've sort of sat down with a club and gone through the process. So from a PD perspective, it was fantastic, and I'm sure I've learned a lot out of that about myself, my own coaching philosophies. But I'm on a great trajectory at the moment, working under Chris and all the great coaches here, and I've been really fortunate in my time in the game to work alongside some great people. So hopefully I can just keep learning and be a sponge to keep developing and growing as a coach.
You haven't shot a sneaky text to Matt Rowell about how good Geelong living is, have you?
Oh, look, Rowley and I do touch base. No, look, he's a great player. I think any club out there would explore that opportunity for Rowley to join their club, but he's I'm sure Gold Coast will fight and scrap to retain him, but I think this club, what it does really well is offer an amazing environment for players to come and be their best and live a great lifestyle and play at a really successful team and club. So hopefully he's considering all his options, but I'm sure he'll make the right one for him.
Just a more general question about coaching. You've been in the paper for a while. Do you feel that the strain on modern coaches is more significant than ever?
Yes and no. I mean, there's strain on everyone in the industry. This club looks after its people really well. There's great balance here around work-life balance. I feel like, the pressure in the game, everyone feels that. I just feel after probably the week or two we've had the last couple of weeks, the industry as a whole sort of sits back and takes notice of men's health in general, whether that's coaching, playing, past players, past coaches. Physical and mental sort of health, I think for me, should be a high priority for men in general, but especially within this industry. So hopefully as an industry we do something about it and just make sure we look after our people.
I know it's 5 months ago, but how did you bounce back after what happened?
Yeah, I've had a great pre-season. I'm available for selection. So a bit of a scare myself. I think I just cooked myself trying to juggle 6 balls with 2 hands, and I'm fine. Luckily for me, it was probably an opportunity to have a full health check, and it came back pretty positive. So I'm feeling really well now, and probably just not try and train like I'm still playing and have a bit better balance myself. So I'm great, thanks.
Just another one is sort of shot out of the ground this pre-season. Mitch Nevitt, have you seen him, and do you think he can contend for that opening ground side?
Yeah, I think we were talking about this earlier around players. I hate signalling players out to put pressure on them, but if you look at the evidence of some of our players that have done every session, that have been unconditional in the way they've gone about it, Nev's certainly one of those. I think O'Sheen Mullen, Nev, then you get bits of Mitch Edwards that jumps up, but Nev's been there. I think his form at VFL level's been outstanding. He's someone now I think he's ready to take his chance, and we're going to need players like him to raise the floor in our program to take the next step to be a premiership team again.